Industrial Talk is brought to you by Arduino, the original all-in-one IoT platform. That's right. Go out to arduino.cc and you will find documentations. You will find devices, powerful boards to help you with your digital transformation journey. It's all there. Go out to arduino.cc, find out more, see how you can connect with these professionals to help you along with your digital transformation journey. Arduino.cc. Change is happening, and Deloitte is your partner. Deloitte's U.S. and global network. They always deliver measurable, sustainable results for clients and communities. It's important to have a partner like Deloitte in your corner to manage and help you through this change. Find out more. Go to Deloitte.com.
Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
As always, welcome to Industrial Talk. Thank you very much for joining the platform that is just absolutely passionate about your success in industry. You're bold, you're brave, you dare greatly. You're changing lives, you're changing the world. Celebration is at the top of every conversation. Thank you very much for what you do. Arduino is in the hot seat. The gentleman's name is Massimo. And, you're in the world of digital transformation and you're looking for some solutions. You're looking for those Sherpas. You're looking for help. Arduino, let's get cracking. Yeah, so the reality is that we were broadcasting from SMRP. Had a great conversation with Massimo, Team Arduino. And the reality is that if you're not in the digital transformation game, right? If you're not, and you're saying, do I need to or don't I? If you want a business that is resilient, you need solutions. You need a digital transformation solution. You don't need a big bang right off the bat. You need to just be engaged. You need to continue to educate and collaborate. And the conversation with Arduino was just spot on. Massive street cred out there. And they've been around for a long time, and they know exactly. I'm telling you, they have a team of incredible professionals out there. Just they want to solve your problems. That's the conversation we're going to have. All right. Before we get into that conversation, as you know, we always go to conferences, right? You've seen it out there. If you've seen the photos and pictures and videos and all of the great stuff that exists out there, you can tell that we're pretty passionate about being on site and having those conversations with companies and individuals that are just helping people succeed. We're going to be at FabTech. This is about a week or so. Yeah, about a week. And again, it's going to be great. We've got a great booth, and we're going to be talking to some of the leaders within the world of manufacturing again. And just support these companies because they're really trying to do the best they can to help solve problems. If you're saying to yourself, Scott, I can't make it to FabTech, which, absolutely spot on. Go out to Industrial Talk. We are going to be at other events. Just find out. If you see that we're at an event and you're going to be at that event, it's easy. Just reach out and say, Scott, I'm going to be at that event. I'd love to be able to have that conversation. Boom, done. Reach out to me on LinkedIn, and the same thing. I see that you're going to be at whatever. We want to connect. We do a lot of wonderful things at these events. We do technology speed dating, which is, I got to tell you, it's a lot of fun. And because there's such a velocity that exists within industry, the highlighting technology, highlighting the innovation is just a real exciting time. So what we do. I'll just tell you what we do. We'll go to your booth. We'll find the right individual to talk about that technology that you're showcasing. And we just have a quick conversation. We load it up to LinkedIn. We tag everybody. Boom. Everybody wins. Everybody gets to see the technology that exists. So I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun. And boy, for me, who loves to live that Discovery Channel life. I get to learn from the best and stay at the cutting edge of what people are thinking from an innovation and technology perspective. I can't say that I know everything. Much of it is way above my pay grade, but it's exciting to be a part of that education and that learning, and I highly recommend that you do that. So go out to industrialtalk.com, find out where we're going to be chirping from a conference, and look us up. Well, again, if you're in Fab Tech, look us up because, well, we're going to be there, and all the information's out there. Arduino, Massimo, is in the hot seat. And one of the areas that are just fascinating for, if you pull on that string a little bit, is how do everybody, and I mean everybody, take advantage of the digital transformation world? If you tip your toes into the world, it's fine. But how do you begin to collect data? How do you begin to leverage the technology to be able to give you insights and actionable insights into the health of your assets? Right there. Arduino. All the contact information for Massimo and Arduino will be out, of course, on industrialtalk.com. Enjoy the conversation. Massimo, welcome to Industrial Talk. As you can tell, we are broadcasting from the 30th annual SMRP conference, and you guys need to be here. How about that?
Yeah.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. No, totally. Next time I'll make sure we're there.
My goal is to make sure that one of these conferences we're going to be able to get together and connect in person. That's what I want. But you're out of Turin, right? Arduino's out of Turin.
So Arduino actually is spread in different places. So Torino in Italy is the place where we have the main R&D team, but we also have a team in Switzerland where I am currently sitting. And we have also a team in Sweden, and we have also people in the US.
Yeah, you guys are all around. I didn't mean to sort of pigeonhole you into
distributed.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Before we get into the conversation, Massimo, just for the listeners out there, give us a little background on who you are, and then we'll just buzz on into the conversation.
Yeah, so my name is Massimo Banzi. I'm the co-founder of Arduino. Which my background is in electrical engineering, and then for many years I did software, and then I started teaching. I started on top of doing like professional work. I started teaching in a master's degree, and that's where I, along with a number of other people, we figured out that there were ways where you could simplify the way you teach people about embedded development, with the objective of bringing a bunch of people that don't even know what embedded development is, bring them into the community in a way, give them the tools so that they can build things with microcontrollers, with electronics. And I think, that was kind of the impetus for kind of creating Arduino as an open source project and also as a company. So that's it's
interesting because your genesis, Arduino's genesis, is just the simple fact that we were talking about how we educate. How do we educate individuals, people on this technology? And I'll be the first to admit I need education, and I don't have, quite frankly, any insights. But Arduino itself has made it user-friendly to do that. Is that an accurate sort of way of doing it? Because I go out to your website. I think it's great.
I guess the idea is that there was a huge amount of incredibly powerful open source software, start from the various version of GCC and all the other tools, but they were quite complicated to use for people that don't have like a strong background in embedded level development. So we wanted to create a tool that we could give to people who do innovation, because when we started working on Arduino, the objective was our students were creating the products of the future. They were, interactive, they were connected. And obviously it was either you had like several years of experience in hardware, or it was quite complicated to build things. So we created a tool that they could use to really try out what happens when you build a circuit, when you build a system that works. So over the years, we refined these things so that at the beginning it was just basically programming 8-bit microcontrollers. Then it became connected products with 32-bit microcontrollers. And then in this kind of sort of path that we followed, what happened is that a bunch of the people that used Arduino in different kind of schools ended up in companies. And so they started to bring Arduino inside companies. So you can see ads from Apple where they ask people if they have experience with Arduino, which is kind of funny, but so this is what happens when you create a tool that people use to get to learn and to build. That if you lower the barrier to entry, you get a lot more people that are able to do these kind of things.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that Arduino is evolving. You have this platform, this product Arduino Pro, right? And so there's this evolution that has taken place within Arduino, and it is really in a response to, and if I had a nickel every time somebody talked to me about digital transformation, I'd be a rich guy, right? And so the reality is that when we start talking about where you see Arduino going, I say it's a fertile opportunity and ground for a model and platform of Arduino. Is that sort of what you see?
Yeah, actually, one of the things that at some point was interesting to observe is the fact that a number of people started to bring these technologies to their companies and their factories, even their fields. And then at some point, several different ways to apply the Arduino technology in a professional environment started to appear. So the natural evolution of Arduino was to kind of follow this trend and try and build tools that basically allow you to use the knowledge that you acquired with Arduino and apply it inside a piece of equipment, inside a factory, on a field, in a farm. So the general idea is bring that kind of democratization of the access to this kind of technology to the industry.
So did you see that happening? Like, did you just sort of where you had this sort of alumni of Arduino taught professionals going into these industrial environments, and then somebody said, hey, you know what? I could take this and put it on here and start collecting data, and all I have to do is did you see that sort of happening, or is it just sort of, they actually are doing it
No, I totally saw it happen, and that's why we said, okay, we have to follow this, and we have to enable this directly ourselves, because we saw people, for example, using the Arduino programming environment on more sophisticated 32-bit microcontroller or more industrial style development boards, but also finished products that you can put in a piece of equipment. So we started to develop, for example, industrial controllers that you could sort of imagine like some kind of a hybrid between a PLC and a more sort of connected type product. And the advantage there is, because a bunch of people right now are going through this process of digital transformation, as you mentioned it. You could become a billionaire every time somebody mentions it. No?
Yeah.
And, in Europe, they call it Industry 4.0 or whatever. No? So there's got a different.
Right.
And what happens is that a lot of small, medium companies, but even large companies, sometimes they don't have the people they can't find the people. There is a huge gap in the amount of people that are needed to do this and the amount of people that you can find. So in a way, we realized that there was a huge amount of people that had Arduino skills. If there was a version of Arduino hardware and software and cloud, they could work in a professional environment, they could transfer their skills. And it's happening in a ton of companies. And we have several examples of people. There's even a company we work with in Italy who builds automation products for the automotive industry, that they used to do things with classic PLCs, and then they basically rebooted the company with young people fresh out of university, or even fresh out of some kind of trade schools, or the kind of training programs, and they were able to basically rebuild everything around Arduino technology, and they basically get very, very good results.
How does it, walk us through? It's like, okay, I'm a company, I'm wherever it is, whatever. I'm having this interesting thought in my head, and I want to take this line, digitize it, whatever I need to do. Mm-hmm. How do we get from that thought? Do I just approach Arduino? Do I just approach it and say, hey, I'm interested? How does that sort of process work?
Yeah, so I think this happens in a number of ways. So there are some companies that they decided they don't really want to build very much internally, but they somehow want to be involved in the process. So they sometimes look for a system integrator, and we work with a number of system integrators. Some companies approach us directly and say, hey, I have this problem that I want to solve. Can I use your technology to do this? Normally, the kind of company that approaches for this is probably someone who builds machines, who builds multiples.
Right.
So we worked extensively with a company that builds industrial ovens. So we rebuilt completely the control system using one of our industrial products. So that's mostly people who have kind of build multiple of the same thing. The people who are trying to work inside the company, they either go for a system integrator. There's also an increasing number of companies where they want to have the knowledge and the people internally. They want to be able to build things themselves. They want to be able to modify it. They want to be able to evolve with the technology using people internally. And those people tend to sometimes even just buy the products from the store, and they find a lot of documentation online where they see how to interface different things with the hardware. We provide quite a few tutorials and examples of projects already built. And this is something that we're pursuing quite a lot in the near future, to provide essentially, I described it the other day, the instant soup. You pour the thing in the cup, you put some hot water, you mix it. You go and there is a project already made. You basically get the parts and you can implement this in your company. So this last group of people, it's very interesting because they're trying to acquire the skills internally. They're trying to build things internally. And they like Arduino because easy to find people. They don't have to deal with weird licensing on software tools or everything else. Everything is open source, so they can dig down whenever deep as they like.
See, when we start talking about it, those are great points, and I see the value, and I see the benefits of being able to be a part of a community, an Arduino community, and have the flexibility as a company to say, I need an integrator, so I can go over here. I want to use the Arduino solution platform because I just think there's some benefits there. But then I can also bring in the talent within my organization, and because of Arduino and the focus on training, I can keep these individuals learning, growing, and evolving, and that to me is of value as a company because I'm already dealing with people leaving. I mean, I'm already dealing with people I can't find, right? That's just sort of where I'm at right now. But now you're saying, hey, come on board. if I'm a company, come on board. We've got this solution. We want to train you. We're working hand in glove with Arduino, and you get to learn, and it just makes complete sense. What's the benefit of open source?
Well, in a way, I believe there's several benefits that have been clearly identified in other parts of the tech world. So if you look at, for example, people who develop websites and web applications, none of them is starting from a proprietary piece of code anymore. Everyone starts from an open source framework and builds from that. Or large company like Facebook or Google, whatever, whenever they build a large software framework, they open source it. So the kind of the web software world, it's all based on open source platforms that are kind of assembled like Lego blocks, and then you write your own application around it. Obviously, the industrial world is a bit is slowly adopting that, but I guess the advantage is, if you start from an open source platform, there's no lock-in. If you don't want to use the software on this particular hardware, it's open source. You can always modify it, move it. If there is a bug that you can't really, you don't have to wait for someone to kind of fix the bug. If you want, and you have the skills, or someone who has, they can dig deep into the software and figure it out. So for some situations, it's quite valuable. People can also come to us and ask, can you fix this? And we have support programs, whatever. But if you're really in a hurry and you have the skills, you can fix it yourself. If you want to switch hardware, you can do it because the software is yours. So there's a bunch of different aspects where you have a much stronger ownership. We also saw people write on public forums that because of the crazy components shortage that is happening right now, people that used Arduino to develop the software of their application were able to quickly switch to a different hardware because maybe the hardware they were using had the processor wasn't available. We are lucky that we have a number of strategic partnerships with suppliers, so our hardware is available. But just in case, you can. There's no strange licensing on the development environments. You're not really locked into one operating system. Increasingly developers are using Linux as a development platform. They don't really want to use Windows. So there's a number of liberating factors in open source.
See, and what I see too is that, okay, you get big companies, and the big companies are saying, we want to go down this road, and they do it. Okay, fine. They're big companies. I'm always fascinated by the small to mid-sized companies that could truly benefit from the world of Industry 4.0, implement, take an incremental approach and saying, hey, I'd like to sort of digitize this, whatever this is. And that's a strategic decision on their part, and then be able to expand from there. And what I see, and correct me if I'm wrong, Massimo, is that there's this ability to scale too, right? You're not just locked in. I can start small. I can say, gosh, I feel good, and I'm getting value out of this particular digital solution, and then I'm going to go next level. And can I contact Arduino and say, hey,
there are multiple ways to contact us, and so we offer different kinds of support for the people who are building pro solutions. A lot of the people build things that don't get in touch with us because it simply works for them. So we can see that the pro products are going from the store or our reseller, because we have a very vast network of reseller, but the major catalog suppliers, they have Arduino Pro products now. So people buy them, and they sometimes don't even contact us because they can just build it themselves. And I think there's one very interesting thing that you basically mentioned, is that some people might start with very simple application. They say, you know what, I need something simple that can read this value and bring it to this kind of cloud platform, whatever. I need to send it over there. So they start with a simple thing, and it just works for them, and they don't have to deal with a bunch of complicated, other issues. And then they start to say, they get the confidence to expand, and they start to build larger. A lot of the people who build large projects, they started off with like a little stupid thing.
Yeah, no.
Reading one sector and sending it to the cloud.
Because I know if I was a business owner and I hear about Industry 4.0, I hear about digital transformation, I hear about all of the stuff buzzing around my head. The challenge I deal with is, one, where do I start? And then two, who do I trust? And then three, sort of like, okay, now what? What's the technology? How do I pull all of those elements together to achieve that desired result? And I'm having a hard time. What's a push? There's no pushback on Arduino. Where do you see it going? I mean, if I had a business, I'd go with you guys.
A lot of people do. I mean, obviously, I have to say that, to be perfectly honest, clearly, sometimes some people, since Arduino started off as a teaching platform, some people clearly, associate the name to that, and they don't really do their homework, because when they start to look at the things that we built in the Pro in terms of hardware and software and cloud, then they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. So we have a number of these, people having an epiphany, because they start off with kind of an idea about Arduino. And then when they finally see the Arduino Pro stuff, they're, but this is completely different from what I thought.
See, that's interesting how we people, humans, find ourselves into a definer trench. And that sort of limits our vision sometimes. And I just see that happening. And I don't know. I just think that what you guys are doing is,
To me, one of the most hilarious things about the world of technology, and I've been working on this stuff for all my life, is the idea that technologies sometimes are chosen purely rationally, while actually human beings are human beings, and sometimes they apply their own biases.
Yeah.
And they just choose a technology that they like or they know about, or they don't really want to spend time figuring out what's there available. What's interesting is that whenever the world goes through some kind of a crisis moment, where you start to look, we have an uptake of a particular set of products right now, which is very interesting. And it's also due to the fact that major manufacturers of PLC don't have product. So people are saying, hey, let's look around, what is this? And then, oh my God, this thing is interesting. And then they start buying it, and they start to figure out they can do things differently. But they are forced by the fact that the product they buy all the time just simply is not there. So, or they need to, in a way, design things in a different way. So these critical moments in history are very, very good for pushing people to look outside of their comfort zone and figure out.
Especially what we've been going through. I mean, it's very fluid out there. I always mention that one, you first off, you need to educate. If you're in the world of industry, you need to pursue education, learn all you can, because the technology and the innovation is happening it's happening now, right? But I think the biggest component associated with all of this disruption has been the necessity to collaborate, finding those trusted individuals, having those conversations, and getting answers to problems that you might not have had pre-COVID, and now it is. It's an interesting time, and I kind of don't text me that I liked COVID, but I do like the fact that people are collaborating and having really interesting conversations to solve problems that it's just necessary. All right, we're going to have to wrap it up there, Massimo. How does somebody get a hold of you?
Well, so our website is arduino.cc.
Yep.
So that's ARDUINO.cc.
Yep.
/pro
Yes.
It's where you find all the pro stuff. So if you go to arduino.cc/pro, you find everything to do with the pro. So there is products, there is software, use cases, documentation, also examples of companies who applied the technology. So I think it's it's a very good starting point.
I agree with you 100% on that. Listeners, we're going to have all the contact information for Massimo, Arduino Pro, everything that you can to get this move. You have to be about that education. You have to be about the collaboration and innovation. And here's Arduino being able to provide pretty much all of that. And that's what makes it so incredibly powerful. And if you're a manufacturer, if you're just a company looking to get into the digital world, you need to do it. You need to be a part of that. And I think that Arduino has an incredible model to help you be successful. Massimo, thank you very much.
Thank you. It has been a pleasure.
It's all mine on this side. All right, listeners, we're going to wrap it up on the other side and recognize that we're broadcasting from SMRP, but one of these days, man, I'm going to be connecting with Arduino. All right, stay tuned. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
All right, once again, thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk, and a hearty thank you to Massimo and Team Arduino, delivering solutions in this digital transformation world. Check them out at arduino.cc. Important. All the information will, of course, be out on Industrial Talk. All right, a couple of points of business. We're starting a new series called Industrial Revenue Growth, right? And we're going to break it up into corporate strategy and marketing, technologies, and sales. We're going to be an overview too as well. All free. Just figure it out and come on over and check out the Industrial Revenue Growth. It is a step-by-step approach to driving revenue growth because we need you to succeed. And these are just tools to help you get clarity in how to bring in more revenue. Industrial Talk, easy peasy, click, sign up, and it's on demand. It's like the Netflix of industry videos. Just go there, get it, watch it whenever you can. But the reality is that we need to, as a organization, as a community, we need for you to succeed, and we're going to do everything we can because that's what we're passionate about. That is out on industrialtalk.com. Also, remember, we're going to be at conferences. Go out to Industrial Talk, find out where we're going to be. If you're going to be there, look us up. Let's have a conversation. A lot of fun happens at these conferences, and we're here to do whatever is necessary to get your message out. Amplify it because you are doing great things. All right, be bold, be brave, dare greatly, hang out with Massimo and others at Arduino, and you're going to change the world. Thank you very much once again for joining. We're stacked with a bunch of great conversations, so stay tuned. Do not go away.